If you think instructional design is just making pretty slides, think again. What is it really, and is it the right career for you? If you're new here, my name is Joselle Jade, and if you're returning, thank you for coming back to my channel. I talk all things instructional design, career, and anything you want to know related to the ID world. I have a lot of videos on my channel now, but I figured that I wanted to make one that simply breaks down what is instructional design. Should you be doing it? Let's get into it. When I was first breaking into instructional design, anyone that would ask me, what is an instructional designer? My response was literally, do you know those boring training videos that you probably get at work? Yeah, the person who creates those, that's what I want to do. And that was like my pitch for the longest time. And then when I started my master's degree, one of the first projects we had to do was come up with an elevator pitch for what an instructional designer is, what the career entails. And I'm pointing that out. I say that to say a lot of people still do not understand, whether that's someone who's in the field already, or like not someone in the field, but someone that might be hiring you, someone that works for a company. They have no idea what a learning and development specialist does, what an instructional designer does. Who are you to exclude yourself if there are people who are literally still figuring it out? So, what is instructional design actually? Instructional design is the process of creating learning experiences, digestible learning experiences for people to learn a skill or a process effectively. That's like my political term. It blends education, psychology, theories, science. There's a lot of learning theory that goes into instructional design, and they are things that you should learn. Maybe I will talk about that in another video. What do we actually do? That's another big question that I get often. So it kind of depends on the job, because you might analyze training needs, design e-learnings, create some sort of package, job aids, documents, downloadable PDFs, printables, create workshops, build assessments, facilitate workshops. I always use the umbrella theory. There's a bunch that goes into it. So it doesn't stop at one thing. If you are an instructional designer, you are someone who is creative, but someone who has many skills because you wear many hats. So some days I'm deep in design. I'm building out a course in Articulate. I'm designing something in Canva or Adobe. Or there's some days I'm in meetings all day, meeting with stakeholders, seeing what the outcome of the learning they want, exactly what that's supposed to look like, how it's going to look for the business, what's the final product going to be. You have to know how to pivot. A lot of change comes, and I feel like a lot of change comes in many different roles. If you are someone who does not like change, or someone who's very tied to their work, I wouldn't say this isn't the job for you, but be wary of that. There are a lot of instructional designers who are very tied to their work, and sometimes you might create something and they want it to be changed at the very last minute. So just be mindful of that. Something that is very new to me this year is referring to myself as a consultant, because sometimes people don't know what they want. So you have to be that consultant to think, okay, what are they really asking and what do I really need to create? A lot of people also want you to design something and so they can react to it, and then they let you know what they really want and you move forward. But I'd say that is like company to company, and then you kind of just learn the culture and you move forward. So who should consider a job in instructional design? I would say anyone who is creative, someone who's organized, someone who loves solving problems, and someone who truly enjoys seeing people learn. And I remember even before I knew what an instructional designer was, I would look at some websites or pages and think, I wonder who is coming up with this. And I would think of ways that I would make it differently or better for me to be digestible for my learning. If you enjoy teaching or coaching, facilitating, that's a big part of instructional design as well. That is not something that I like. I do not let these YouTube videos fool you, because I do not like to facilitate anything. I will not be raising my hand to facilitate. I'll do it, but it's not my first choice. And like I've said before, let's say an instructional designer isn't the role for you. There are many other job titles that go into learning and development. You can be a corporate trainer, you can be an HR specialist that helps out the L&D team. You can be an LMS administrator. There's a lot of roles that go under the umbrella. So if you're like, maybe I'm not that creative, you don't have to be stuck where you are. You can move into a different role. What it's not. Instructional design, we are useful. We help the business save money, make money. We help retain talent. We're not just here to make things look pretty. However, I will say, in the past roles that I've had, people would send, let's say like someone needed a deck to be like spruced up, they would send them over to Joselle because she made things look pretty. It's something that I enjoy doing, is to help the learning to be more digestible, because no one likes a million words on a slide. We're not doing that, not in 2025. And the last thing that I wanted to touch on is, why is instructional design a growing field? Why is learning and development a growing field? Because companies are starting to invest in IDs, invest in L&D teams, because they see the value. Good company is as good as employees they retain. And our job as an instructional designer is to teach, build up the employees, and that's how you retain talent. Think about you. If you're at a job who is investing in your learning, your growth and development, that's somewhere that you're likely to stay. And so companies are starting to see the value in instructional designers, because we help that happen. So if you're still wondering if instructional design is for you, drop a comment in the comment section below. I'm answering questions. Everyone that I get, I'm answering. I can even make a dedicated video to your question. And if you still have questions, be sure to check out my Break into Instructional Design Starter Kit. You can find it in the description or the comment section as well. I'm having so much fun creating these videos, answering all these questions, everything that goes into instructional design. If you're ready to learn more, subscribe. Check out one of my last videos, what does an instructional designer actually do? My instructional design career journey, a list of playlists at the end of this video so you can be sure to check it out. Well, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.